thank you all for coming today on this relatively hot of late September afternoons. My name is Michael. I'm an organizer at Furee Families United for Racial and Economic Equality, and we are allies right to the city who have organized this Renters Day of Action in 46 cities across the country. Renters Day of Action is part of the Homes for All campaign, and it centers around four main demands. The first being a national rent freeze, the second being a national freeze to unjust rent evictions, the third being real control, community control over land use and development, and last but not least, the ability of tenants to organize themselves, right? I want to, give this space away to Reverend Billy, who's going to be leading us in a few little performance, and then I'll head off to the different groups that are going to be speaking tonight. So thank you, and you'll hear from me soon.
St. Michael Higgins, thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Will the Stop Shopping Choir come up here? We already have many tragedies that we've got to think about. Many people have been evicted.
That's right.
We know that older folks, we know they pass on more quickly when they're evicted from their long-time home. Amen. We know that. The lawyers and the courts, they don't seem to know that. We do, don't we? And we're going to sing a song called Ordinary Life.
Our ordinary life. We eat and sleep and breathe. In the park below your bank, in the park below your bank. Police are on the stairs, now you can never leave. Police are on the stairs, now you can never leave. When the dead and dying in your business plan. When the dead and dying in your business plan. Find out how extraordinary their life is. Find out how extraordinary their life is. You will
Whole
need,
city, New York City is under attack.
There is a way.
Landlords are trying to kick tenants out and bring people that are paying 4 or 5 times what long-term tenants are paying in our communities.
How much discrimination we have to go through? How much we have to be stomped on? Speak up. Don't stay quiet. Use the news. They're pushing all us poor people. Where they gonna push us at? Where? You gotta accept us whether you like it or not.
But when you watch people who are trying to oppress you and betray you, watch the language. The word we're talking about today is affordable. But you see that coffin on the ground? Did you see affordable housing? You see Section 8? You see public housing? All of these sprang out of the Civil Rights Movement in 1968, the Fair Housing Act of 1968. But the word at that time was not affordable. The word was affirmative. It was to right the wrongs of the people who have been unjustly denied rights and opportunities in this country. You find yourself almost 50 years later with the language being changed, and you walk around saying the word affordable.
Right now, there are people out there who would claim that Brooklyn and all of the city is going through a natural evolution in the housing change. That's what's just happening. Neighborhoods change. This is normal. This is what happens. But we know the truth. This is not just a natural stream of housing change. This is money that's backed by international Wall Street developers and predatory equity funds are funneling into our neighborhood as a strategic business plan to displace long-term tenants who live in these neighborhoods in order to make a profit.
What is affordable housing? Affordable to whom?
That's right.
Who is able? No se puede vivir en Manhattan ni en Brooklyn ni en ningún lado no se puede vivir. Nosotros no podemos sobrevivir aquí. You cannot afford it. They say rent hike. We say rent strike. They say rent hike. We say rent strike. They say rent hike.
We will be walking first to City Point, which is further down Flatbush Avenue, and we'll be looking to the left at Fulton Mall. Right? From there, we'll be heading over to Brooklyn Housing Court. Then we'll be making a stop at the Brooklyn Commons, and then we'll be doing our last leg to White Coat Gardens.
Housing is a human right.
Fight, fight, fight!
Ho, hey, hey! Ho, ho! Greedy landlords got to go! Hey, hey, hey! Ho, ho!
I want to be clear about the role of how the police are are used in our neighborhoods and our communities. That the landlords call the police on tenants. They call ICE on tenants. That they beat and ticket us in our neighborhood. That they stop us for walking, for breathing, while black and brown are poor in our neighborhoods. And the bottom line is that we must continue to resist. That every time that a landlord tries to evict a tenant, we will resist. Every time a police gives us a ticket or beats up someone in our neighborhood, we will resist. Every single time a developer tries to come into our neighborhood and build another luxury project, we will resist. The tenants united will never be defeated. The tenants united will never be defeated.
In 2004, downtown Brooklyn undergone a huge rezoning, which fundamentally changed the height of buildings and everything that can be built within this commercial district. Now for me, when I was a teenager in high school, this is Albee Square Mall. This is the home to dozens of different businesses. It was a hub for young people to hang out and have a place where they could relax, spend their money, and chill before they head home. Right? In 2004, downtown Brooklyn was rezoned, and it fundamentally changed what you see here.
Don't displace us! Come out and face us! 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 All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. Say what? Say what?
My name is Norma Aviles. I work for Housing Court Answers. We're a nonprofit organization. We're a nonprofit organization that works inside the court. We started back in the 80s giving information to tenants outside all of the courts in all of the boroughs. And we finally got into the court with a table, and they finally said, okay, you guys are persistent. You can have a table and you can help tenants and give out information. And that's what we do. So we see 1,000 or more people at our table every month. We take stats and we see a lot of people who are not able to get an attorney. Having an attorney can save you in a home. Thank you, and thank you for coming, and keep it going.
Just one thing. Norma, I'm Chelsea. I just want to say that if criminals are appointed a lawyer, I can't understand why when you go to housing court, they don't appoint you a lawyer. If they can give them somebody, they can give us somebody too. That's right.
So I want to quick.
46 different cities are taking action today, and yes, give it up, give it up. So, and it's been rolling. It started yesterday. Pittsburgh rocked it. Newark did a 36-hour occupation at their city hall. Small but mighty. Really beautiful stuff happening. So when you get home and get a chance to check what's going on, it's really important that we build connection with each other and build community. So that's what Homes for All is really about. This day was basically decided upon by 50 organizations that met in Chicago in April. Said we want to do a big thing in the fall. We want to get as many people to feel part of building a renter nation and part of building renter power. So the hashtags we're using today, like blasting out over the media, are Renter Power and Renters Day of Action, and of course RDA NYC. So check that out. Right now, for people who care about this, we're trending on Twitter, which is like a first for the Homes for All campaign. It's a big thing, because what we're also trying to do is fight the battle of ideas. Housing court not taking care of us. Mandatory inclusion zoning not taking care of us. De Blasio's policy not taking care of us. We got to take care of ourselves. We got to come up with policies and solutions and fight to win. And when we fight, we know we can win, right? So that's what Homes for All is about, trying to really fight the battle of ideas and convince people that when we fight, we can win. When we fight, we can win. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win.
Home is my temple. Home is my temple. I am not your
my temple home. I love my home. And bring it down, bring it down.
Inquilinos, unidos, jamás será vencido. El pueblo, unidos, jamás será vencido.
I want to thank everybody that's coming out and marching for us. And I'd like to appeal to the residents to get involved and realize that nothing is promised to us. They need to know about their community, what's going on, and they need to know. They just need to know. Come out and fight for where you live at.
The parking lot behind us is proposed to be a building that's going to be what? Approximately 20 stories? 15.
Not for
15 stories, and it's definitely not for people who live at Wyckoff now.
I do want to let folks know, in addition to the development that's going to be happening here, right here at Wyckoff Gardens, there is now a planned rezoning for Gowanus that has begun. So that's really important for our community to make sure that affordable housing is provided when that rezoning plan comes out. We know that the area will most likely have the new mandatory inclusionary housing component as part of that plan. And our community, along with Fifth Avenue Committee and Furee, are going to be fighting for deeply affordable housing to be part of that, not some of this housing that's being built downtown right now that's 130% AMI for basically unaffordable to all of us. And another thing to keep in mind, since we did this memorial procession, is that the large community that's been here for generations, especially the Hispanic and Latino residents that have live in this community, have been pushed out. So we are still fighting for the folks that remain, but all of this development that's happening around us has already had a large impact on this community. So we encourage folks to follow us and to come out and support us when we need help when this rezoning plan gets underway. Be involved with your community.